So here we are, about 2 weeks post burn, and I'm hoping that we can get a better idea. If you'll notice, you can see the brown vegetation. We're just entering the property here, just for you. You can certainly see where the brown vegetation that was affected by the fire has certainly succumb to the effects of the fire. And so as we go along here, I'm going to go over here to a point and stop, and but just to kind of give you an overall view to start with. And I hope you can hear me off the over the sound of the Kubota here. But as you can see, some of the long leaves, what they look like after they have been burned. See if I can find that one again. There it is, right there. See, they don't look real good, but hopefully they should come out, and we'll be fine along the way. There's another one. But you can see that's a good one to look at right now. You can see over in the very top of this. You can see how green that is in there. That keeps that terminal bud protected, and actually that's a good example of the way the plant is supposed to work and supposed to do, is that it keeps that terminal bud protected from the fire, and ultimately it should be fine. It should come out and do well. One of the main goals here is to eliminate the competition around it, and as you can see, it certainly did so. Since it is 2 weeks post-burn, we're already seeing some of the grasses and forbs and so forth that are coming out and greening up a little bit. I'm going to try to give you an overall view from right here, and just so you can see that a lot of the hardwood and other vegetation has turned brown and should die back, and give the longleaf an opportunity to come on out. Here's a good example of what the longleaf looks like in a planted area. If you can see them right in there. Again, they should be fine. We're hoping that they're fine anyway. Here's another one. Right down in the very top of that, you can see those longleaf needles that are green. And it should be fine. I don't see the terminal bud on that one, which means it may not grow as much this year, but there it is. There's that terminal bud. We did find it. It's in there. It was just covered up by some other vegetation and so forth. There it is. But as we kind of look around, you can certainly see that a lot of stuff is brown. You'll see that some of the loblolly and slash pine that's down through the property did survive, but a lot of it did die back, or hopefully will die back. It's at least turned brown at this point. And as you can see on that other side where it had gotten so thick, that's one of the goals, was to help remove that as well. Here's one right in front of us that obviously will die. But you can still see there are longleafs out there that should be fine and look fine at this point. Just to give you an overall view here again, I'm just going to kind of pan around and get an overall view of the property from this point. And that sun is really bright today, which it's a beautiful day for February. It's going to be about 70 here today. But as you can tell, that sun is shining gorgeously, and just so you know, this is probably one of the best areas of burn right here. There's a longleaf that was hardly touched by fire, but stuff around it was seemed to be affected pretty well. So it's kind of interesting how some of them will look really, really questionable, and others will look, there's another one. See that nice terminal bud in there that looks well. There are others that look like they may not survive it. Here's one right here that's certainly questionable, and probably for a good reason. It may very well not, considering as hot as it got, although that terminal bud is right down in there if you see it. But nonetheless, we do expect some mortality when we burn, but just hopefully not too much. So gonna stop here and move on around. That haze that you see is not the haze that I see here. We do have a little haze, a little cloud cover, but most of it is not as a result of anything in the air. It's just kind of the sun shining, and although it was foggy earlier this morning. Okay, so that's it for here. We're going to move on around, and I might even just ride and show you as we ride. I think it may be difficult to catch a lot of it from that standpoint, but hey, we'll see what we can see. Okay? All right. Okay, so we've moved on around the road a little, and here are more examples of longleafs along with lily. And here's a good example of a pretty green one that's pretty and lush and got that terminal bud in there well protected, and should expect it to come out beautifully this spring. As you can see further down, I'll try to zoom in a little bit. You can see the longleaf in the forefront. As you go down, you still see some green pines, which are obviously loblolly and slash and so forth, but still are green. Down in the very bottom, I don't know if you can tell, you can see a strip of green that was just apparently too wet to burn whenever we burned that day. But it's right up that bottom, and hopefully maybe by another couple of years that we get another burn in, that it'll get much better. Here's some more longleaf along the road, and we'll walk across on this side of the road and see how this looks over here. And as you can tell, it all looks very similar here. Again, this up here in the area where you enter the property is some of the best burn that we got. Here's some little hardwood sweet gums that we certainly hope will die. Here's a tree, it's got green in it, which may or may not die, and some others down here that still have some green in them that probably will not. Some may. Here's also some here that are mixed bag, and then right in front of us you can see some longleaf that part of what our goal was is to clear the competition around, and it burned pretty well as also. So this side over here burned pretty well as well. Again, it was some of the best, and as we go on around, you'll begin to see when we get to the back part of the property that it just didn't burn as well. But in my opinion, a burn at this point, a bad burn, was better than no burn at all. Okay, this shot is from the stand and the condo, and so it kind of gives you just the elevation, kind of gives you an overall better view of the burn. I'll try to zoom in a little so we can see. You can see some of that's got green in it, that the burn wasn't quite as good as it was in other areas. Going up the hillside there, you can see some of those bays and magnolias that did not get hot enough to die. Then you see some that is, but you see some of the longleaf that still that did survive and will be fine. I'll try to zoom in on that one to show you what it looks like. There's one. There's some others around there that are fine. That should be fine anyway. There you go. So anyway, so I'll move over to the other window. And excuse me here, we'll get back on it, and you can see some other parts of the burn. But then you'll notice as we begin to go over and look south, you'll see much less effects of the burn and much more green remaining. So we obviously still are going to have some work to do in that area, but nonetheless, it's a start and kind of the way to look at it. So we will we'll burn again, maybe in a year, maybe 2 years, and see what we end up with. But like I said, at this point, a bad burn was better than no burn at all. But we do have some areas that was a very good burn as well. So that's pretty much it. You take care. We look forward to seeing you guys when you come home for the summer. And if I can provide you with any other video, please let me know. You take care, Griffin, Oliver, Josh. Love you all. Tell Jess you said hello. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.